Hey, welcome back to Fully Invested Fi. Yeah, so definitely it's gonna be a bit of a different episode today, not the usual. It finally happened. The thing I was preparing for when I started this strategy and investing in high yield ETFs a couple years ago came to be. So, yeah, earlier this week I got laid off along with most of my company. It's a thing I've been talking about for a while of like how volatile the games industry has been the last couple years, really. So that kind of had me on the edge of my seat, and that's why I kind of started this. And I'll kind of link my very first video above to where you can kind of see like how I talk through all that, right? But yeah, right now, honestly, I'm just kind of going through a lot with all that and kind of dealing with the fallout of that and kind of feeling raw about it all, honestly. So yeah, right now I'm honestly just kind of still scrambling to finish updating my resume, my portfolio, getting ready to file for unemployment, figuring out medical insurance, all that fun stuff that you have to deal with after a job loss. And yeah, and this is this is my first layoff. Luckily, in a way, it's my first layoff that I've had to deal with in my 16-year career. So yeah, navigating all this for the first time. All this I'm kind of doing to prepare for the looming job search that's coming up, right? Obviously, this changes a lot for the strategy for a bit as I navigate the transition period to another job. So yeah, I mean, as usual, I wanted to be transparent and share and kind of go over it all today with you. So I just want to talk about where my head's at, possible options I'm considering. But one thing though is that the one thing I am glad for with my income investing these last couple of years is that I do have a decent sized cushion now for my monthly dividends, right? For my high yield ETFs. So that covers right now, not my full paycheck, of course, as you've seen, but it at least covers like most of my fixed monthly costs right now, which is a huge relief, honestly. And it definitely helps ease things as I navigate this job change and for like, who knows how long for right now, unemployment will last 6 months, but I don't know. I know of a lot of old colleagues and whatnot that maybe are a year since they got laid off and they're still going, right? And at other studios and stuff like that. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. But let's just kind of dive in, right? As usual, the disclaimer: this video is for entertainment and education purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing here should be taken as financial investment and tax advice. I'm simply sharing my personal investing journey and documenting my own results. So investing always carries risks, especially when using margin, and you can potentially lose money. So don't copy what I'm investing in blindly without understanding the risks and doing your own due diligence. No returns are guaranteed. As far as the monthly flow here, obviously this is going to change. So yeah, I haven't thought through all the changes today, but you can kind of see the chart that I was using up until this point. But yeah, as a refresher, what I was normally doing is I invest 100% of my income and previously at least 10.8K every month into growth and high yield ETFs. I've stopped using a traditional bank account to live entirely out of my Robinhood brokerage account. I use cheap margin of 4.5% to bridge the gap between my bills and my dividends. The goal is to ideally never sell a share, forever compound my growth in high yield assets, and have my monthly my dividends eventually exceed my monthly expenses. So if you want an in-depth breakdown of like at least the old strategy, check out the video up top. And yeah, this is naturally going to evolve as I navigate the layoff period. So just give me some time to update this over the next couple of days after I'm done all the work stuff. But yeah, we'll see what happens, right? This is where stuff was at before this thing happened. First things first, we pop over to Robinhood. A nice green day after a kind of brutal red week overall, right? But yeah, first things first, honestly, stuff has been crazy this week with the layoff. So yeah, no paycheck investing this week. Today would have normally been a full paycheck investing video. But with everything going on, I honestly haven't had a chance to think of what I want to invest in. There's been a lot of dips and whatnot, but what even makes sense right now given the layoff that just happened. So for now, I got basically my before last paycheck today, just my normal one, and then I'm going to get a tiny one next week. But I'll just transfer the full paycheck to the brokerage. But instead of investing into any stocks, I'm going to just invest it into Roundhill's week. They're basically their weekly T-bill ETF. So relatively safe, stable, and I'll get paid weekly as well. Just so I still kind of add to the asset pool, and then they'll just pay bills quickly. So it's not going to be as big a video for that on that end. We're going to dive more into actual options and what I'm going to be doing down the line after this. But yeah, once things slow down next week, though, I'll kind of take some time to think on what I want to invest that money in. Maybe just stay in the T-bills. Who knows? But yeah, I just haven't had the headspace to really think about all that this week with everything going on. All I know for now, though, is that like given that right now what I need to do is prioritize cash flow and my monthly income, is that I will likely fully invest that paycheck portion into high yield ETFs, not in growth and high yield ETFs. So yeah, at least temporarily I'll have to be doing that to just keep my cash flow going, right? So yeah, that's the only thing I can kind of think of right now off the bat, right? But yeah, let's just pop over to spending over here. That's not good. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can just do it from my phone. Yeah, it looks like I can do it from my phone. So I'm just gonna transfer money from there. That is not good. So I got $5,439.05 from my paycheck today. So I'm just going to transfer that to my individual. All right, I just did it on my phone. So if I refresh, we should see this update. Or maybe it updated already. Cool, yeah, that updated already. So the buying power went up here. And so what I'll do is that I'll just invest it in week, honestly. So this is Roundhill's weekly T-bill before. I've kind of test invested into this like several months ago. But yeah, it stays like relatively stable because it's like T-bills, but it actually pays it out weekly instead of monthly like SGov. So that'll be kind of nice in this kind of period. But I don't expect this to stay potentially more than a week. So we'll see. I'll just do that and maybe collect like a week's payment or something. So yeah, just remind myself of like how much money that exactly was. So 5,439.05. Cool. And then I'll buy that. So still contributing to the asset pool overall, at least. Cool. So that's all the buy I'm going to do. Then after, as far as bills, if we pop over to the bills page here. So added 5,439.05. That was the paycheck today. And yeah, I have these bills pretty much to go today. So just my Chase Amazon card, my HELOC payment, and auto insurance for the next 6 months. Instead of I'm doing a big lump sum to save on money instead of doing the monthly. So yeah, I'll just kind of transfer that over to spending. And yeah, that way I'll just draw it after this video essentially. So 723.29. Let's see if this still works. Okay, not great. So yeah, the website's just kind of taking a crap there, but so I'll just have to send these through my cell phone essentially. So there's going to be a cut here. Great. So if we go back to Robinhood, this should all update. Cool. So now we're good. I'll just kind of update these numbers on the sheet as well. So yeah, I'll just add a new position here for week. I'm just going to zero these out. Great. So that's good. I'll add the I should just add the dividend now actually. Was its last dividend? You just usually check on Seeking Alpha there. Last payout 0.07 cents. So 0.07 times 52 weeks, 364. 3.64. Great. So yeah, 3.64% yield here. So that's it. That's invested. And so where that kind of puts us, like that puts me at just under 50% equity here. You kind of see the buffers as how they went up and whatnot. And yeah, I'm just below 4.6K in monthly dividends here. So yeah. Cool. And so that's that. That's the full paycheck investing. And let's just move on to the next part where I'm going to talk about my options going forward and just, yeah, nothing I'm going to act on right now because I still need to just think on this once my head's clear with all the layoff stuff next week. But if we pop over to Miro, I kind of did up this little section here that we can kind of go through. So some of the main numbers to keep in mind, right? So right now I have about 4.6K in monthly dividends coming in. And so that's about 55.1K a year in annual dividends. And potentially from what I've scoped out is that I'd basically get the max unemployment benefits for Washington State just because my salary was fairly high. So that's about 4K a month if I don't take the tax withholdings. And so that's total 8.6K roughly a month. So just, yeah, a couple K shy of the 10.8K that I was taking home a month between my monthly dividends and unemployment. And then right now, my monthly expenses are kind of averaging out to 9K a month, roughly. And 5K of those expenses are actually monthly fixed costs. So stuff like, think my mortgage, bills, things like that, stuff that I can't like not pay, right? So my dividends actually are pretty close to covering this, which is nice, right? So honestly, this kind of just gives a lot of peace of mind and helps cushion things and makes me a bit less in a rush to find the next job, right? So I can kind of approach things a little bit more strategically in that sense and not just go for the first thing that pops up, right? So yeah, just keep these numbers in mind as I kind of step through the various options here. But so yeah, there's like roughly a $600 deficit between my monthly expenses right now, and then basically what I'd bring in between my dividends and unemployment. And then after, like, obviously a larger gap here between my take home pay, right? That's more like 2.2K since it's 8.6K, right? 2.2K difference here. So do that if I want to go like that. So yeah, keeping that in mind and what I need to make up potentially. So there's a couple different things, right? For one, push comes to shove, there is a couple ways where I can infuse more cash into the brokerage if needed. I still have like about 14K in my HELOC that I could potentially take out and bring into the brokerage, either to pay down margin or potentially just invest in safer, high yielding stuff. So think like SPY-I, QQQI, T-SPY, TDAC, right? I wouldn't put this in some of the ultra high yielders, right? And have it erode. And also there's, for my Roth IRA, like I still have some contributions that I've put over the last couple of years. So the neat thing with the Roth IRA is that you can pull out your contribution amount. So say like last year you put in 7,000 and that gained like 3K and your thing is now 10K. You can still pull out that original 7K with no penalty and tax free. So that's one thing that's nice for the Roth IRA. It can kind of be like a semi-emergency fund. So right now my Roth IRA is like 21K. So 14K of that is my contributions and then 7K of that is gains. So I wouldn't touch the gains part. That's what would get taxed if you ever pulled that out. But I could technically pull out 14K, no problem. And then these are really just last resort. These are like kind of break in case of emergency. But I do have a pretty big total credit limit across all my credit cards, like 230K. So potentially do a balance transfer if I need to tide myself over for like a year or whatnot. There's always like balance transfer offers that pop up, especially for some of my credit cards that have a higher limit that like over like 80K or whatnot. So yeah, obviously I ideally not want to kind of have to do this. This is really just if like, I don't know, some crazy emergency happens, right? And then same thing for my 401K. So I have 129K in there. And yeah, potentially that can also come out. But yeah, that's why I'm putting these in red and small because yeah, I don't want to get to this point. I'd rather do these first. And then also like potentially too, if I need to pay that margin, I could maybe one that I could add here is like just sell growth stocks. And that would pay down the margin, right? For whatever reason. So yeah. But with all these in mind, and then also all this in mind, right? This is the various options I'm considering going forward. So potentially, what I could do is sell my growth single stocks. So basically, like all these guys, right? If I sold all of these, that would be a 4.5K gain right now. Even though, like, yeah, Hood and Take-Two are down. Just carrying on the back of Microsoft here, basically, and Google and whatnot. And potentially, what I could do with that is just reinvest that into safer, high yielding ETFs. So again, SPY-I, QQQI, T-SPY, TDAC. So like, yeah, for example, like if we wanted to cost that out, right? So right now this is about 44.2K. If we go to TDAC, yeah, so right now TDAC, so 44.2K. If you do that times TDAC's current yield, 1712, that would be adding, yeah, $630 a month to my monthly income. So yeah, that's how you can kind of roughly estimate that stuff, right? So that would definitely make up this deficit, which would be nice. And then even more extreme than that, I could potentially sell out of all my growth stuff. So basically all this stuff, and then just put it into, again, safer yielding high yield ETFs like SPY-I, QQI, TDAC, T-SPY. So that would give me quite a bit more, right? So all my growth stuff is about 176K, right? So again, here, if we did the same thing times 0.1712, right? Divided by 12, that would be adding $2,512 to my monthly income. So quite a bit. And yeah, but not quite my full paycheck of the 10.8K, but I would definitely be much over the deficit and then even cover, actually it would get me to my take home pay if I factor in the unemployment, but this on its own wouldn't cover my full paycheck, right? But it would be pretty good. Like 2.5K on top of this, like that would be 7K a month, which is not bad considering like in some places that's like just a normal salary. Yeah, so these two, and then also potentially what I could also do is also just touch nothing. Just don't sell out my growth stuff, and so see how I do here, even just with this like little deficit in unemployment, and kind of see what I can cut down in expenses, right? In monthly expenses potentially. So yeah, and also likely as I get the unemployment dollars too, I'll probably be investing that. So I won't be investing like 10.8K, right? And I'd let the high yield dividends just deposit. So I would be investing a lot less, but still quite a bit. Still more than I would have if I was just investing 30% of my salary like I used to. So yeah, that's kind of the three main options I'm thinking of right now. And kind of like the few minutes that I had to think about stuff this week, which is not much. But yeah, if anyone has any other good ideas that I'm not thinking of, feel free to comment. Or if anyone's been in this situation as well too, and has kind of used high yield ETFs to kind of help supplement things as they've navigated layoffs, I'm all ears. So yeah, I'll once things kind of like calm down next week, once I'm kind of done my resume stuff, portfolio stuff, I'll start thinking about that and running projections, kind of like the rough projections I just ran right here about like the estimates, and see where I go from there. And then I'll of course like make a video about it. And honestly, that's one bright side. I'll have a lot more time to do videos given that I'll be unemployed after next week. So yeah, if you want to keep supporting the channel, really the best way is to keep watching videos, sharing it with videos for anyone that's interested in these topics, since my videos are monetized. And yeah, and optionally, like if you do want to chip in extra, I do have like a little Ko-fi here that if you can do like one-time tips and things like that. My Patreon to sub to, it's free, but there's also just like a cheap supporter tier to really just support the channel, $3 a month. And then also, of course, there's the Gumroad with my free spreadsheet too. If you want to grab that, there's also a tip option there. So a lot of different ways you can support the channel if you want, but yeah, I'm not expecting anything. But yeah, that's where things are at. And then other than that, like other things I'm keeping in mind too is that given all the layoffs and like the industry contraction over the last few years, salaries have like heavily corrected in games. So like I'd likely not be making the current salary that I am. So I'll likely have to take a pretty sizable pay cut for my next job, realistically. And again here though, this is where my portfolio paying me $50K a year helps stomach things better, right? So after all that's said and done, I'll definitely be investing less for my full paycheck going forward with whatever next job I get, most likely. So I'll have a pay cut there. But yeah, but again, the high yield ETFs here, they definitely help cushion the blow and essentially like help bridge the gap for like if I am going to take like a 30, 40, 50K pay cut from where I am now, right? And yeah, and then one big thing that I might try as well too, that's important to keep in mind, is that like I've been going nonstop in my career for like 16 years. I've been working basically since I was like 19 years old with no breaks longer than 2 weeks. The only time I had a longer break was like 2 months, but that was when I was moving back up here to Seattle and bought my house. And yeah, really that ended up being a 2 weeks break after everything was said and done in the house and I was all moved in and unpacked and everything. So I really only had 2 weeks to chill after that. But yeah, so what I'm thinking of is I want to see if I can swing potentially giving myself a sabbatical, quote unquote, and take 2-3 months off to just kind of relax and not be crazily applying, just kind of maybe more casually reaching out to folks, kind of seeing what's coming down the line. And before jumping into like really active job search mode, right? And actually just kind of give myself a break because yeah, 16 years and no break has been a lot. And I'm definitely kind of feeling burnt out a bit. As I said too, like unemployment, I'll get up to 6 months of that in Washington, which is nice. So it might cover me okay between that and my portfolio's monthly dividends for the job search. So we'll see. But again, like I've said, stuff is taking longer to find jobs from kind of seeing how other friends have gone too. So the industry is in a really weird spot. At the end of the day, as I mentioned, I'm like just really glad I started this whole process. And then that I had the forethought 2 years ago to start investing in high yield ETFs and kind of generating this much monthly income, right? Like this right here is like such a lifesaver right now and going through this layoff. So just wanted to share. I know it was a lot, probably very raw. You can probably tell from my voice that I'm still kind of going through it and feeling like kind of emotional about everything. So yeah, that's again, just want to be radically transparent in the channel. So you're getting it all here, the ups, the downs, and I'll keep doing it. And yeah, you'll see how I navigate out of this predicament right now. So yeah, as usual, if you want to follow me off YouTube, there's a bunch of different ways. You can do it on Blossom Social. You can kind of see all my trades there, my posts. You can also follow me on Snowball Analytics, complete free. All these are in the description below, right? And you can see all the numbers, all the different buckets, how that's all sitting. And yeah, the Patreon, like I mentioned earlier. And then of course there's the Discord. Yeah, I gave a heads up to people this week when the layoffs happened. So you get all that good stuff. There's a lot of good posts that I have on there in between videos. It's nice going back and forth with everybody. It's nice to have a pretty active community here. We're pushing almost 300 members, so it's growing a lot. All my trade alerts are on here as well too, and other people's in case you're interested. So yeah, definitely give it a check. And yeah, I'm looking forward, honestly, despite the layoff, like just to make more videos, and I'll have a lot more free time to kind of do that stuff and keep everyone posted on how stuff is going. So yeah, you'll see in real time how I kind of really navigate this tricky period that maybe some others are going through right now too, while they're investing in high yield ETFs. So I'll catch you in the next one. There'll probably be another video, probably tomorrow, Sunday, for my portfolio update potentially, or maybe Monday. We'll see. Just to go over this last week's performance. It's pretty bad given all the red days, but yeah, we'll go over it. I'll show everything good and bad. So if you want to keep supporting the channel, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you want to be notified for future videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.